Happy New Year's Eve 2023. Welcome to my little shop. Geezers, saving wood and repurposing wood and recycling wood. That's kind of where I'm coming from this evening. I have a plethora of scrap wood in my little wood shop. This is a piece of, was a 2x6. If you can see the grain in here, it's pretty nice straight grained redwood, as it turns out, of a 2x6. Not much I can do with a piece of wood like this by itself. So I started thinking about, I have to repurpose this. I can't just throw it away. You know what that's like if you have wood. I mean, it's an addiction. I'm a wood hoarder. I can't help it. I can't throw stuff away. I want to use every bit of piece of wood as I can and make sure I get the best use out of the wood I can. So tonight, I'm finishing up making coasters. Nothing spectacular except the wood. Fine grain, old growth redwood. There are over 50 growth rings in this little 4-inch piece of wood. It's less than a 1/4 inch thick. It's all quarter sawn, which means the grain runs this way to get this nice straight pattern. With it being quarter sawn, it's very stable. Doesn't bend, doesn't cup. So I can cut it real thin and maximize what I get out of the piece of wood. So what I'm doing is I'm finishing up this set of coasters. I've cut them, resawn the wood on my bandsaw, which is a 1951 Delta 14-inch bandsaw that I've repurposed and reconditioned, putting new bearings, and have a nice resaw blade and a nice flat table and a good fence, and it cuts straight and clean. And so I resawed this piece of redwood into these thin little coaster-sized pieces, of which I put my finish on. I use a German finish, a plant-based finish called Osmo, and it used very little finish because I'm careful. I don't want to overuse anything. I want to make sure I get the most I can out of everything. I grew up poor and still hang on to those qualities of looking for good deals, finding good deals, saving, reusing, making sure I get a lot out of what I own. I get free wood all the time. I get scrap wood. My favorite is when old houses get torn down and I go and I look for pieces of wood like this redwood. It was 2x6 from a house that got torn down. I got just a small stick of it, but it's old wood. It's hard to find tight grained redwood like this anymore. But it's all about getting good wood, reasonable prices, and taking care of your investment, taking care of the product. This wood is kind of precious. As we know, the redwood forests have been really decimated. But now this redwood lives on instead of just being burned up as a small scrap of 2x6, too small to use for anything. Well, if you just think about it enough, you can figure out how to use it for something. So these last 3 pieces, I'm polishing the wax off, because after I applied the Osmo finish, I put on a coat of hard carnauba wax just to help protect the wood and the coaster. These are from the steps going into a house that was built in 1903, I think, in Tacoma, Washington. So these are the front door steps. A friend of mine was remodeling the structure, and he gave me some of the stair treads. And on this piece all these pieces, there's over 70 grains, 70 grain lines in here in this small little piece of Douglas fir. You look at the end, and hopefully you can see this in the camera. That's my cat in the background, Rusty, jumping around, exploring the wood shop. He's a wood shop kitty. Tight grain, really nice wood. So where I'm going with this little discussion tonight is a simple piece of wood. What do you do with it? Well, I think this might actually really truly end up in a burn pile. It's got some deep cracks on this side, but before it went there, it had this on the side of it. So I cut these pieces off, ran them through my bandsaw to make boards. A little over a 1/4 inch thick, nice vertical grain, Douglas fir, quarter sawn, so it's nice and straight. You can see the grain lines going almost perpendicular through the wood. Very stable, pretty hard wood for a so-called softwood actually. So I've got 3 boards, and I'm going to cut those up into coasters here pretty soon and make another batch of Douglas fir coasters. These are going to be given to my friend who gave me the steps. He doesn't know it yet, but these are going into coasters for him. I'd made him a mission style lamp, because I make arts and crafts furniture as well as other stuff. But nice wood. I just am not going to waste it. Not going to burn up good wood like this. We can make something that'll last a long time and get a lot of use out of it. So the moral, boy, shop for used wood. Great places to look for it are Craigslist, where people are tearing down buildings, or stacks of old wood laying around. Craigslist is a good one to find tables, hardwood tables. Look on them, look them up, hardwood tables. Walnut, mahogany, cherry, maple, and they go for dirt cheap, a lot cheaper than you would have to pay for if you go buy new wood. Plus, it's already stable being in a home for so many years. It's dry, you just have to harvest it. And look for pieces wide enough for what you want, long enough for what you want to build, and then just take it through the process of cleaning it up and reusing it. So, I might be poor, but I sure have some nice wood because of that. So, it's going to be New Year's here in a few hours. Happy New Year's, everybody. My name's Keith. I live in Washington State. I'll be chatting with you again soon.